Kanpai.
Welcome, everyone, to this week's Kanpai Cast, episode 224, where we're going back to school. School spelled, of course, S-K-O-O-L, because Hooked on Phonics worked for me. Right, so before we do that, though, it's time, to remind everyone to like, comment, subscribe, because, if you haven't subscribed already, how did you even find us? The algorithm isn't friendly here. So there's also an audio version if you prefer not having to load YouTube in the background. There's even a Spotify link for that. We have a Discord. We have some Patreons, especially Xeno's Patreon. You should really go do Xeno's Patreon because he just shelled out a bunch for a whole new Notice Me Senpai set. And lastly, there is streaming where we do silly games. I think this last Thursday, what did we play? It was
Forever Skies.
Forever Skies. Yeah.
Forever Skies.
Yeah. Because I'm a big fan of that sort of survival crafting game, and Xeno and Laws indulge me every now and then. And I think that's basically it. Do we have any other housekeeping that we want to talk about?
I don't think so. I think one other point is, like, if you have a preferred podcast platform of choice, but we don't push there, let us know, because it probably won't be too much hassle for me to tweak some code so it does get pushed there, and then you can just listen to the entirety of the podcast on whichever platform you want. We just, we go to YouTube because YouTube has
nearly the entirety of the podcast. They'll miss out on the memes if they don't come to the YouTube video.
That is true. And the memes are like the whole reason anyone truly comes to Cast.
This kind of thing is what I'm wondering, where we go to another site as well for videos, like Vimeo or similar.
Right.
I suppose that's true. We could, yeah, in theory.
What does anyone know what Billy is? I've heard the name thrown around, but I'm like, what is it?
I've seen a lot of anime stuff pirated there. I assume it's pirated anyway. There. Yeah. I haven't actually gone to watch any of it myself, but when I look for like thumbnails and stuff, a lot of times I'll see images from Billy or there's another one I can't remember. Daily Motion, maybe? Either way.
Thaylien, yes.
Tell us about this back to school
shenanigans.
You don't see your cat.
What is going on with your cat? With your chair? Your chair is exploding, man.
Yeah. So it just creaks because I've got to have it put up to maximum to support my long legs.
Of course.
Anyway, so the topic of today is back to school, but not just any school, special schools. Because regular school can be found everywhere in anime. And I believe we even did a discussion on it not too long ago, about 6 months ago. So these are the kind of schools that you go to when you want to learn magic, or to be a hero, or maybe to pilot a mech. And she's insisting on scratching herself right next to the microphone. I wish she'd stop do that. Okay.
You cannot stop her.
We have to think about when you are in a magical universe or in a sci-fi universe, what purpose does the school actually serve? Is it any use at all, or is it just a shortcut to telling the story, getting characters together in one place under rules that they can't really question? There's plenty to be going on with there, and there are plenty of different schools in anime, considering that it's such a prevalent topic.
I honestly feel that a lot of the time schools are in anime, especially like these sort of like more how do we super curricular schools.
That's a good word.
Curricular.
Well, they're not special. It's
expialidocious. What?
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about piloting mechs, we're talking about magic, we're talking about demons, we're talking about all sorts of weird and wonderful shenanigans like this. But I feel that the school setting is just so... This shouldn't be here. This is ruining the show in a lot of cases.
Indeed. But can this be likened to the video game screen leveling up screens in Isekai or similar? Is it just a way to get around, condense a topic,
a shorthand
into something the viewers can easily grasp?
Because you have to remember that we're old people, right? Anime is not necessarily directed at us. So could it be that the reason you see a lot of school in anime is because it's aimed at people who are still in school?
It could be the case, yes.
Therefore, it's a shorthand to make it relatable to them.
See, that just makes me think of some of the schools that are genuinely supposed to be relatable, but take you out of it, like Assassination Classroom.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a show where the main character is the antagonist, as it were, and his job is to teach a class. But the class's task is to kill him. And that's such an outlandish idea.
What kid hasn't thought about killing a teacher before, you know?
To the point of where the manga's banned from Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I were in Texas, I'd probably want to...
Yeah. I thought it was because of the femboy, but, See, that's the other side of what people think about their teachers for. They don't want to kill them. They want to do the other thing. Again, depending on the teacher.
Oh, my...
Anyway, with Thaylien
tall,
degrading
yellow
this
guy
topic.
with lots of tentacles,
Oh my!
Anyway, point being, this is a show where the school itself, the teacher is trying to teach the classes like a regular school, or he's trying to teach history and all these other things, and at the same time, every student has a mission that is literally laid out by the government to try and get him to kill him before he decides to destroy the world. So it's a very unique setting.
It's a very silly
premise. The
premise.
school itself, it's a very silly premise, but again, could be very serious depending on how it's taken. And the character is such an unserious character. He really is. But all of the students take the situation seriously, which makes it a very good contrast in how this plays out. So, incredibly normal approach to what they actually want to teach, incredibly out there thing in what's actually happening at the location. Also, the premise is the plot hook. That whole thing of why he's even doing this is essential to the plot, and why he hasn't destroyed the world already.
I find this a really interesting concept of a show, because a lot of the skills it's been some time since I've watched this, so I could be wrong on this.
Yeah.
But a lot of the skills learnt by the students, they are to teach the kids to be assassins, right? To the career path for these kids is really limited, because as far as I remember, they don't get taught things like, mathematics, physics, chemistry, biology. Maybe it is in there and I've just, filtered the show down so much to kids kill teacher. That
it is in there, but the kids themselves use it for that purpose, to kill the teacher. So when they teach them chemistry, for example, they wonder how they can, how can they actually use it against him? Same with the athletics or anything else.
But a part of me feels like maybe this should be some form of military school, as opposed to a regular high school. Because, again, these kids are ostracized from the entire...
I was going to say, aren't they the only class in this high school? I can't remember.
No.
This
In
one
this
specifically,
building.
yes.
In
Yes,
this
the whole
building.
building is dedicated specifically to this, to keep the teacher isolated from the rest of the country.
It's
to
the
keep
old
them there.
school building. And so this class is the only class that's
Close
in that
enough.
building. But there are kids that like in the adjacent building.
Military
and, like,
either. It's so military school wouldn't necessarily make sense. Some kind of special school that they've created by evacuating all the other people from this old school building. That works. I don't think that works.
But my point is, like, why is this just in a normal-esque high school setting? Why isn't this in some sort of like special military compound where they're turning the kids into super assassins?
Because they need it to be relatable to teenagers who fantasize about living a different life than just a normal high school life, but still in their normal high school setting.
There's this element of escapism with the familiar
exactly.
setting.
I'm intrigued to know, do kids really need that familiar setting to make it enjoyable? Right?
I think most people in general do, which is weird. It's weird to me because I don't need that. But I think that's because, if you grow up, engaging in a lot of fiction, I think it's easier to separate yourself from the rest of the world. But if you don't, or if the only fiction you absorb is like TV dramas or something, it may be a lot harder for you to detach completely. I don't know. Maybe it's even deeper than that. Maybe it's not what you grow up with, but just how your mind is set up by genetics. Fuck if I know.
So I'd like to tangent ever so slightly to talk about kind of real life experiences as a developer. And while I do this, I'll be putting up Kobayashi's Dragon Maid because I think Kobayashi herself is a fine example of what it's like to be a developer in the modern day world in reality. And this is something that I do not comprehend a lot. I don't want to spend too much time on it, but I don't understand why, as a web developer by profession, I am required to go into an office because I have to be online in order to do my job. I don't know why, if I'm doing an exam for being AWS certified, so that's Amazon Web Services for anyone that doesn't know, AWS certified, I have to do it as like a pen paper exercise when I have to be online to use Amazon Web Services, right? I don't understand. There's so many of these different criteria. Huh?
They don't want you cheating.
Right, but what's the difference? Because in order to actually facilitate my job, I have to be on the internet. And, well, while I'm on the internet, I can just Google stuff. It's the whole pen and paper thing is like the anti-Google trust kind of thing. It's so I don't understand this desire for relatability in a school setting, in a job setting, in a lot of this stuff, when considering it doesn't make sense in real life anyway. Sorry, I kind of fumbled that last bit. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Not a clue.
Okay, so sorry, I have tried. Basically,
I'm kidding. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you do get it.
I just thought.
I think you're saying that because things in real life sometimes make no sense, that there's no reason to portray it that way in anime or in any media.
Fiction. Yeah. So, I think this is why a large case isekais exist as the massive genre it is now, because we could just reset the drawing board and do whatever the hell we want, right? And a lot of the time they'd go to basic form of an RPG, a literal role-playing game, which a lot of people can draw experience from. But at the same time, it's just like, it's a blank canvas in comparison to a school setting.
Yeah, but let's be real. Those aren't nearly as popular most of them aren't nearly as popular in the end as something like Classroom of the Elite, or Assassination Classroom, or anything that has that more relatable element to it.
I'm intrigued to investigate this, right? I would suggest we look at Mal. What is the first anime in my anime list on the top rankings that is a school setting? What rank is it? And then what is an isekai and what rank is it? Does that make sense?
How do I...
Yes. Hang on. Yeah. The top school anime is Danshikokusa no Nichijou. Or,
Nichijou, okay.
No.
Okay.
No. Or so the alternate name is, because Nichijou is just the thing. The English name.
Have an English name.
Yes, Daily Lives of High School Boys.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Daily Lives
All
of
right.
High School Boys. Its score is 8.23, and it's ranked 385.
Right, so what's the top ranking isekai?
So, let's just find that. So,
To be fair, I was just expecting us to go to the top anime and just scroll down until we found it.
yeah. This rated by score top. Interesting. The top isekai at the moment is Lord of Mysteries.
Doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. At 8.62, ranked number 98.
Wow.
Lower than I was expecting. However, yeah.
Wait,
I mean, to be fair.
Gintama set in a school?
Gintama?
No?
No.
Oh, no,
No,
wait,
it's
no,
set in
that's
feudal
the...
Japan.
Is it feudal Japan? Shit, okay, alright.
Let
Yeah.
me double check this.
There's like loads of skits of it though. Oh, no. Kaguya-sama's
number
Love is War.
16!
Sorry,
Yeah,
I
that's
have
100%.
mistaken. I know what I've done. Sorry, I did the search for the name of school in the title without actually doing the, while
Okay,
doing the thing.
okay.
So, if I redo that same search, that's my bad. Sorry. So we do know that the correct one is Lord of Mysteries for the isekai.
Right.
Kaguya-sama,
top-
Clannad...
And
even
Yes.
Code Geass.
Kaguya-sama Ultra Romantic is
Yeah.
specifically
16.
the one. So it's with the next one being Haikyuu and then My Hero Academia. Kaguya-sama with First Kiss is number 4. So they're actually, I think so. Yeah, Kaguya-sama's thing is number 16 versus number 98.
Boku no Hero Academia.
Yeah.
That's the
So
top 50,
school
and we
is
haven't even
obviously
run
more
into
popular.
a
Isekai, yeah.
isekai yet.
Isekai.
So
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's fine. I Good.
I'm kidding.
well, you should.
I'm kidding.
So yes.
But even
So,
so,
yeah,
we
that's
saw
interesting.
so many shows in that list which were like, yeah, none of these are
Sure.
isekai or schools. Yeah.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
So many of them are
It's
just intimate.
weird that, because I think it's not because it's I think it's because the setting in actual. Hang on, when you say school, Bocce the Rock is in the top 50.
Bocce the Rock, yeah, that's also in there.
Yeah.
But he's talking about things like
so many of them
like Frieren is not in school, Chainsaw Man is not in
Chainsaw
school,
Man,
Fullmetal Alchemist not in school,
Alchemist,
Steins Gate not in school.
Gate, Attack on Titan,
Attack on Titan, not in school.
Gintama.
Gintama, not in school.
Gintama.
Hunter x
Hunter
Hunter,
Hunter.
not in school. You know, so
I have no idea what one is.
I get what he's saying
One Piece.
here, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But I think
Yes.
those probably have other relatable things in them that people would latch onto. Maybe not Attack on Titan.
Well,
I did it.
Gintama's just
Maybe not
funny.
Attack on Titan.
Attack on Titan's it's got action. You know,
Action's not relatable.
no, it's not relatable, but that's what I mean. It's just I feel the point is that relatability doesn't matter.
Actually, I will actually say Attack on Titan has something that's relatable to a lot of people, even if they don't realize it, and that's tribalism.
Ah, yes.
Fair.
Anyway,
I'll give you
we're
that one.
straying away from school. Shall we get back to the school anime?
Yeah. Yes, let's go for the ultimate school silliness with Kill la Kill.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
This show, I don't think it even needed to be in a school to be good because it's just one of those things. But the fact that it is in a school, they go to this school to study up and learn how to control life fiber clothing. But they don't tell them that. They just give them the uniforms and hope, you know, and recruit them into the cult, as it were.
That's actually a question.
Mm.
I want you to finish. I'm gonna write it down so I don't forget it. But I want you to finish what you're saying about Kill la Kill.
So, Kill la Kill is you go to a special school, and there are other schools in the world that they do at least bring up another one in another city. But in this school specifically, the goal is to train up strong, well-educated individuals that can push forward the idea of life fibers as a means to control the world. All from the view of Raguan as her villain's goal to cover the world in life fibers. So I love the fact that this is obviously a school setting, and they make a big deal out of the school uniforms as part of the theme of the show, and they break out the school clubs because in Japan, school clubs are very much part of the culture, right? The idea that the people that run these clubs can be sort of, mini celebrities within their school has always been part of the anime culture and part of the the ideals of the school-based setting. Also, the idea that the student council actually runs everything
is supreme. Yeah. Who's more powerful than God? The student council.
Absolutely. When all it really is is an extension of the same thing, where from the time that they are very small, even like the school lunches are, the supplied school lunches are cooked by the students, with supervision, but they're actually done by the students to get them, as part of society and teach them skills that they'll need to learn. So that's something that never would have happened in an English school. You wouldn't have the students on a line, as the lunch ladies, as it were. You have actual dedicated employees to do that because students might
child labor laws
get the idea to they might get the idea to take revenge on people at school or bully other people at school using their time on these lines.
But actually,
that's why you're supposed to be supervised.
Yeah, actually, one thing that is really interesting is you're talking about these lunch lines. Sorry, minor tangent. The whole point is to actually teach kids about nutrition and taking care of yourself. It's
like a home ec class, but applied rather than just making food for the sake of making food.
Or useful.
It's why home ec class is actually very formulaic in a lot of schools, because they teach you to do certain things, like how to bake certain cookies, like for Valentine's Day, how to do certain meals, because they're the most agreed upon, most nutritious meals you can make, and so they set them up as basics for going forward out of that school with.
I think going back to Kill la Kill, though, I really feel that I feel like the school setting could just be removed entirely.
Yeah, so that was the question I wanted to ask.
It wouldn't be. I feel it wouldn't be nearly as funny without it. I feel that having the whole idea of this student council running things actually makes it funnier, and having each of the personalities that they have to fight against along the way, like the tennis club, the fight club, or the boxing club, all these other people. It allows them to theme these villains of the day to make the story more caricaturish, more funny for it.
I get where you're coming from, but at the same time, could we not do the same with like a youth center? Like, they don't do anything at the school. They don't learn anything. They're just constantly fighting each other.
Yeah.
I think that's for these particular characters. The rest of the characters, the background characters in the school, obviously do learn things. They attend the classes. They form up in their uniforms, and they do attend these different events and things in the school. There are actual clubs.
Can I actually pivot to talk about what I think is the most egregious example of the school's doing an absolute... No, the school's doing a shit job at educating the kids, and that's My Hero Academia, right? So, for those who don't know, right, and have the common sense not to watch My Hero Academia, even though it's ended, right? And I'm sorry if I'm antagonizing a lot of people. I'm an antagonist, apparently. You have Class A and you have Class B, right? Class A does all the practical stuff. They get to go outside. They get to run and play and prance around being a pretend superhero, while Class B have to stay in the classroom and learn that way. And I'm like, when does Class A do like any maths? When does it do any like physics? When does it do any
those to beat people up?
And that's part of the problem, because it does massively feel like that these kids would come out of what's the AU?
Yeah,
no,
something like that.
I can't remember what the university's called, or the college, or whatever it's called. And UA, is it UA?
UA, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
What does it stand for?
UA High School. It's
looking it up. It's just called UA High School. Cool. Awesome. Awesome. Right. But the whole point is, my whole point is, I think they'd come out of the school and then just like, here's real life. You got to pay your taxes. Wait, what? How do I pay taxes? Have you got a job? Have you got a bank account? Have you got a place of residence? Like, they won't have a bloody clue. And
as a question, Zeno, just to put that in context, did you?
What, when I came out of school?
When you came at 18, after you finished your A-levels?
When I finished my A-levels, I went to university.
Well, there we go. But did you have the ability to get a job straight out of the thing, and did it teach you like any life skills like filing taxes?
I'd already gotten myself a job before I finished university, and the taxes thing...
No, that's before you finished university. You went into university as a secondary function of education.
Yes, but I still had to...
High school, after what we don't call high school here in England, but when you were 18, you went out. You chose to go into university rather than start a job.
Well, technically, I did start a job first, but yeah. But the whole point is, though, that I was taught how to take care of myself for the vast majority of it. Whereas I question whether or not the kids in My Hero Academia can actually read and write.
Well, they did, but they did go to regular school before coming to UA.
Yeah, but how much bloody blunt force trauma have they had to the head?
Okay, that's different though.
Good question.
That's like asking how many football players can read after they come out of high school. And by football, I mean American football, not, pansy-ass soccer.
Thank you.
Or rugby.
You say that. Yeah, but do you know that for a non-contact sport, the English, rest of the world's football actually produces an incredibly high amount of injuries?
Yeah, they get a lot of leg injuries and broken bones and
impact injuries from accidental collisions and all sorts.
Actually, I saw a video.
Actual contact sports,
but not the same. That's not the same as like concussions, like institutionalized concussions.
Yeah, no, I saw a video where a rugby player and an American football player were tackling
Rugby's
each other.
Also brutal.
And the rugby player just basically threw this guy to the ground. It was just like, well, I'm exaggerating because you can't. But it was just like so funny. Like he didn't move an inch and the American football player kind of just bounced off.
Yes.
It's just like, wow.
That's because they're taught to take the contact without the padding, as it were.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of the American footballers count on the padding to take the hit.
Oh, God,
which can lead to
they
more,
protect the body, but not the head.
Injuries.
I mean, those helmets don't really do much when the brain bashes against its own inner casing.
Yeah.
It's,
bit of a rattle.
Anyway.
So one example of school I kind of feel done right, and I will welcome the floor to arguing against me, and that is Knights of Magic. Because effectively, Ernesty is in school for a grand total of one episode. I mean, there is relative years in this. However, my point is that he kind of blitzes through the school situation and then goes immediately into making mechs. Right?
That's like, so that's, you do see that, well, you used to see that, I don't know how often you see it anymore, with child prodigy characters like Doogie Howser or the girl that builds the Spider-Man girl from another dimension that builds her own mechas.
Oh, Penny Parker.
That's the one. That sort of thing, where you see these child prodigies who just blitz through things. They're like, oh, they got a doctorate at the age of 12. They're working on their 5th doctorate now, and they're only 18. It's like that sort of thing, Ernesty is that, but only because he got Easy Side.
It's more than that, though. The whole point is that he is applying his profession as soon as possible. Whereas
that's what I mean.
There are instances with, let's say, the Irregular at Magic High School. I'm blitzing through these. I do apologize. Feel free to circle back to any of these when you want. The Irregular at Magic High School, where the guy is a covert spy, special ops, weapon in and of himself. Yeah. And he's back at school. He's just
doing it on purpose.
Yeah.
It's his cover is he goes to school and he's trying his best, mostly I think, to put his sister at ease because
I would say that Knights and Magic is not necessarily written for people who are in school, while this one is. So it's a case of they want it to still be set in a school because it is for high schoolers, but they want you to be able to feel like, they want you to be able to imagine that you're the most super specialist high school student who ever super specialed. And that's why you're still in school, but also the best.
Actually, I've got an even worse example of this. We haven't even put it in the list, and I'm going to go get it right now.
Sure thing.
And
I think that's why Knights and Magic did it right, is because that wasn't the focus was the mechs and the magic and how cool all that stuff was, and not school, not like
and here's
like
the thing,
Witch from Mercury, where it was all about the school for the longest time.
I mean, we'll come back to that one. But again, you was just saying it, it's about Ernesty, right?
Yes.
It's about what Ernesty does, what Ernesty goes through, how he excels. It's not about a bloody school, which freaking Spy Family. Fucking Spy Family, right?
Oh, that would have been all right if they'd actually treated the school like it should have been, which is no, not just that, but like as an infiltration point, whereas it was used just for comedy and not actually for any sort of infiltration. You know, aside from like a couple of times, you know, it's just.
I am a
not
strong
enough spy,
advocate.
too much family.
I am a strong advocate. Well, not even enough family. There's just Anya. But I'm a strong advocate for suspending your disbelief, right? Yeah. But you can only go so far, right? And when a bloody 4-year-old is trying to learn Pythagoras' theorem, I'm like, nah, fuck off. Just
school for prodigies, come on. She's gonna get her first doctorate buff before she's 12.
Absolutely. How else is she going to do that?
Oh my god, she
would get the first one by stealing it from somebody else because she's actually reading it off their brain as they're writing it. But let's be perfectly honest. In any case.
Yeah, how do you think Doogie Howser got to be a doctor at the age of 18, you know, or 16?
Okay, this might be a bit of a shocker to you, Nasuth. I don't know who Doogie Howser is.
Oh my god. You know who Neil Patrick Harris is, right?
Even I.
Yeah.
He played his one of his very first roles, or at least his first big role, was as Doogie Howser, MD, back in the 80s, early 90s, where he was a child prodigy who became a doctor at you know, super young age.
12.
I don't think it was 12. Watch a lot. I think it was older than
that. It's old American TV. That's fine. Yeah.
But yeah, he was a child who was an MD and was a better MD than all the other MDs around him.
Exactly.
Although he did have to learn life. So you know, House. Imagine a House, but as a 14-year-old.
Yeah.
And has an even worse opium addiction. Anyway, that's besides
the point. I think Kool-Aid addiction.
I think that. I think, again, part of the problem with Spy Family is that the school, the events at the school take higher precedent than any of the other events, the family events or even the spy events. It's just like
it's all Anya having fun with Becky and Damien slowly falling in love with Anya, and it's like, how does any of this relate to what's going on?
Yeah. We're trying to prevent a war here. What the fuck is Lloyd even doing?
Yeah.
Exactly. So this is a bad use of school. I would say that a good use of the school would be Akashic records of a bastard magic instructor.
I agree.
Because they spend, even though there is this thing where the show devolves more into an action thing where the school gets attacked and he has to show that he can actually do shit. The introduction of this character and his role in this world is to teach these kids, and so you even see it in when he actually gets there. The first thing he does is show them they don't actually know as much about magic as they think they do, by demonstrating what happens. He's actually tested theories and found results from changing up how you use magic. And the teaching method is a little bit childish. It's easily provoked, and I do think that that's where the fun of it comes from, because he's not actually a teacher, he just happens to be knowledgeable. And this is his first time dealing with teenagers, basically. People in school age since he left school. But the thing that I come back to is that you, the audience, learn about their magic system as he teaches it.
Yeah.
Which is a great way to present your world.
And again, you have your students. Sorry, I may have been distracted a little bit then. I hope I don't repeat you. But again, you have your students learning what you're learning. You know, it's not just...
that is what he said, yeah.
Oh, I do apologize. So sorry, Thaylien, I got distracted.
No. It's good that people...
It is a good point.
recognize this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
like,
it's. Sorry, I've spoken enough. Oh, shut up.
No, so when we said about using school as a shortcut, this is using school as a storytelling method, as a world-building method, rather than the shortcut. Cena's actually off.
more of a framing device to teach you about the world, as opposed to an easy way out.
We learn about this magic system that relies on the words you say and how you say them. You know, how you break up a spell, and how this has actually been a taught and learned subject for a while, so that spells are standardized by now. There are very few new spells in this world because people know how the most reliable methods to cast spells are, based on the words you can put together. You know, the way you can say these spells. And your intonation, your spacing of the words, whether you say it as 3 lines rather than 4 lines, or say it as a certain number of words rather than cutting down the number of words, it's the same way. Now, not to out anybody and dogs anybody, one of our friends has a job where they are retesting methods for medicine that have already been, that were discussed and theorized about, but were not able to be tested when the technology was worse. And that's one of the, so they are, last I spoke to them about it, and they're reassessing methods that were not technologically viable before. And that kind of thinking is from us. It's from our universe, as it were. But you can see how in this universe of the Akashic records, this character is questioning the standardized methods, the things that were put into place, and wondering why they were put into place and how you can adjust them. How maybe you can retest how this magic is cast and see if you can find a better way now that you know more about it.
There's a really interesting thing, and I don't really want to steal Nasuth's thunder.
I have no thunder.
It's his point of view.
I couldn't figure out.
No, this is your point of view. Right.
Oh, okay.
So both he and friend of the channel, Loz, both share an appreciation for flat earthers. They themselves do not believe the Earth is flat. Do you want to continue this?
No. By all means, I want to see how your take on this.
So they do not. So to clarify, both Loz and Nasuth do not believe the Earth is flat in any way, shape, or form. Right. However,
round earthers.
They appreciate the fact. They appreciate the fact that people are challenging the already established science that is there, and they are getting the flat earthers are getting proven wrong, and I think flat earthers are now dying out, and fewer people believe.
They've sort of retreated into more insular community, more of an echo chamber, than existed before, because yeah.
But the whole point is that they actually are challenging the way that the world has been perceived for the longest time.
I would specify not all of them are. A few of them are. The rest are just
repeating their dogma.
They're shutting their brain off and taking they're not even challenging anything. They're just listening to it.
Right.
But there are some that have actually gone out and done experiments. Usually they get them wrong. Either they do them wrong, or they end up confirming the globe Earth.
Most notably, there was that a few years back. There was that Netflix special on them.
Yep,
where they did.
Notably, one of the guys in that, Jeranism, ended up going. So if last I think it's 2 years ago at this point. It might have been a year and a half ago. They did something called the final experiment. I know we're way off topic now. They did something called the final experiment where they went to Antarctica during the winter solstice because so most flat earthers believe that the North Pole is in the center and Antarctica is a ring around the outside. So if you go to Antarctica during the winter solstice and you see the 24-hour sun there, the sun doesn't set the entire time, it just moves around the sky, then that sort of disproves flat Earth completely, or at least that version of it.
Yes.
So, notably, Jeranism went there, did that, along with a bunch of other people, and gave up flat Earth. He is now no longer a flat Earther. So, some of them can actually have their minds just like those people. I love those people because they are actually trying to do science. And when they get irrefutable proof, they actually switch sides.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. So, that's why this kind of show where they actually try to to introduce you to their magic and introduce you to how it works by showing how it can be broken down like this is entertaining to me. It's a good use of the school as a setting because it allows for these explanations. It allows for a setting where you can see how people have been raised to believe and educated already to work on systems, and then have somebody challenge them.
Yeah, that is cool.
Yeah. You compare that, in fact, I would pivot this to compare that to Wistoria Wand and Sword, because this show has only one season at the moment. I haven't read the manga, but it has a very rigid world that is very limited. So in their world, the sky is protected by a giant magic dome that's being held in place by what looks like part of a moon or a sun, and it's actually a collection of very powerful
so this
spells
is the flat Earth. Okay,
high
got
above
it.
them. More like this is more like a fallout shelter. So we don't know what's beyond the dome, whether it's a flat Earth or not. And they have a dungeon underground that you can explore to face monsters and go down deep. And you have a tower that is where the well-educated and powerful wizards go to work their way up and become one of these people that powers the spells that are keeping the sky in place. And this has not been questioned at all in the show. It's been introduced to us, and the only thing that's being questioned about it is how everybody is a wizard, and we are following a person who is a warrior. So he's trying to go through the school in the same way as a wizard would, but as an actual swordsman, as a warrior. With
I'm sorry, when did we switch over to Mashal?
Unique.
Yeah.
We did
That's fine.
When did we switch over to this? This is the same plot as Mashal.
No. Not in the slightest.
Keep
No,
going.
I will deny. I will deny entirely. So this guy, he has all the talents of a warrior, with the enhanced reflexes and everything else that would stand him out if it was, say, an actual fantasy team, where he would be the frontliner and he'd have mages for offense and support behind him, and possibly even a hero that would work with him that could do a little bit of everything, or had a special power to defeat the Dark Lord. But because this situation is run entirely by this system that powers the sky, the spell in the sky, and all he wants to do is reunite with his friend. It's the actual system that caused this doesn't get questioned. I mean, you can compare that to Mashal, but in Mashal, our whole system is being questioned by the fact of Mashal being there, in a comedy way. But his presence is the question posed against the whole scenario of why do wizards run everything. And this school it's definitely got its full lesson plan. It's definitely got situations where they attend, but the focus of the show is more on the character interaction and on the action things, where they get sent down on dedicated school things to go to the dungeon to kill a certain type of monster and harvest a certain type of resource from them, and that gets them, points to Gryffindor, as it were. And then there's also the big tournament event that they go through.
This sounds a lot like
only a couple of episodes, but the whole point of this is because if he doesn't do this, he will never reunite with his friend. And the school itself, while used well as a school setting, it's educating the wizards to become part of the tower, to work their way up and become a wizard of renown. Akashic Records questions the system. Marshall questions the system, whereas Wistoria it doesn't question that the system exists. He's trying to get through it despite his limitations. It's a very different way of approaching it. What do you think?
I think Nasuth wants to follow up with something.
Kinda.
Yeah. What was the...
I don't even... Like, it was literally 2 seconds ago, and I already forgotten why I wanted to transition over to it. I think it was because you were talking about how they have, like, lesson plans and stuff. And to some extent, that there was something else you brought up earlier that I can't remember now. It was several shows ago at this point, but it kind of reminds me of A Returner's Magic Should Be Special, where the plot is not at all the same, right? So the plot is our main character ends up losing a battle, and when he and all his friends die, he gets essentially catapulted back into the past to try and redo it. But in it, they do try to lay out the magic system in this world. They have an actual class about it, at least one episode. I don't remember what year this came out, so I've forgotten a lot of it by now, either way. And while he understands all of this stuff, he kind of keeps it to himself and only helps his particular group learn some of this other stuff. So like he's trying to hide the fact that he knows some of the things they're being taught aren't actually correct and that should be challenged. And the only people who end up doing it are him and his group. They don't tell anyone about it. They just use it to win the tournaments that they do, the school-sanctioned tournaments. And they're not all tournaments. Like, some of them are like, you have to find a certain thing, but most of them are, you have to win. You have to be the last ones to be alive at the end, or not alive, but still active at the end. Not the greatest...
Standing.
Yeah. Not the greatest school show, because... they don't, like, the school side of stuff isn't really fleshed out. We see more of the character interactions and the practice room as opposed to the classroom. But they have enough of it that it makes sense to then go apply it practically in a practice room. That one's not too bad, I don't think. And because it doesn't focus solely on the classroom, Xeno might even like it.
Indeed. That is interesting, the idea that you would know it and then you only keep it to yourself as opposed to using it to change things for the future to try and make it better. Because if you're in the past and redoing everything, then maybe you would actually make things more likely to turn out well. I think
the idea is he doesn't want people to know that he's from the future, because that could bring up other problems. And so his goal is to just make sure that his party survives this time. Because all this other stuff will come out anyway in the course of his party end up being the ones that are chosen to go fight this. They're like these weird world incursions, and you have to defeat the boss Otherwise, the incursion will explode and take out part of our regular world with it.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
So yeah.
I think what I'm slowly coming to the conclusion is, if a school is structured well enough to exist in the setting, then you know, sure, go for it. But you can't like half bake it.
You can't just throw it in there. Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, like even half baking it, you can't just have it in there, because an example, I saw it in the list a moment ago, is from Old Country Bumpkin to Master Swordsman, where effectively our main protagonist is teaching a class, but you don't really see him teach the class, you just see him kicking ass. And it's yeah, and it's just like, I don't understand what his job is, because we never see him in the classroom teaching, right? It always overlooks this part, and at least show us, I suppose, once we've seen him in his dojo when the other cast members, or you know, other characters, they're learning sword skills for the first time and everything. But it just feels underwhelming that effectively we're following this guy around his average life, but he's supposed to be there as a teacher and he just doesn't teach. It's akin to Spy Family.
It'd be like if we saw Guild Reception. It'd be like if we watched Guild Receptionist and she never did her Guild Receptionist job. She was only out there being the weird hooded vigilante hero.
Yeah. And it
Which
feels...
might improve that show, to be fair.
I mean, I feel like the biggest hurdle here is, why create a setting and not flush it out, nor use it properly. There was another one, which is Asterisk War, which I am not recognizing the image. Do we put it in the list?
I don't think we put it in.
I don't say that you should add it, but no.
Asterisk Wars. Sorry, I want to, because I do want to talk about it.
Yeah. Because Asterisk War, as I recall, is a school on reclaimed land, so it's supposed to be isolated and closed off to the public. So it's got this exclusive school kind of attitude. But what they're teaching them to do is use swords, basically. It's combat.
Yeah, it's just a tournament show. That's the whole crux of it is. And it's akin with My Hero Academia. It's akin with a lot of the school. Like, oh god, what is it? The Chivalry of a Failed Knight. So many of these shows, which are supposed to have like a school setting, it's just like, no, this is just a tournament. I'm like, they're not learning anything. What is the point of this?
Yeah, this could be replaced by making this, instead of a school, making it a dojo.
Yeah,
sure.
Any other place for learning skills, maybe
or just a competition
camp or something like that, or a competition. Yeah, it would be.
Yeah.
But the thing is, by making a competition, there is the belief about a competition that it's like a unique event that's held at a certain time in the year, as opposed to a location you can go to learn how to take part in the competition. You see?
Yes and no, because
you do want to make it a location. You do want to make it something that's exclusive, locked off from the public, and until these tournaments happen. But you want it somewhere that can contain the chaos that's caused by these sword battles. You know.
But at the same time, the venue, you know, it makes it sense that, okay, the kids, maybe they have to do some weird, oh right, so we've got a first stage tournament setting, right? Okay, so we've got this artificial, it doesn't need to be like a proper dedicated city where we have 6 different schools that solely exist just to have a tournament arc. Just have the fucking tournament arc. Don't sugarcoat it.
You could send them off to an island and then present them all with the basic swords, and then they, through the adventures they have on the island before that they discover their own unique swords that they can get hold of, and then hold a tournament between them once they all have them. Something like that.
This sort of goes into that question I wrote down earlier, which was how many of these shows could essentially just get rid of the school setting and essentially be unchanged.
Yeah,
and I think the answer is a lot of them.
I unfortunately I can't speak to schools that primarily focus on sports, but I think one school which is just like, what is this even, is Keijo.
His prison school. Oh,
right, yes.
No, Keijo.
Blue Lock. I mean, what?
Is Blue Lock actually set in a school?
It's supposed to be a school. It's supposed to be a teaching environment that's locked down and closed down to prevent access in or out.
But sticking with the Keijo thing, because I can talk about that one.
Absolutely.
The whole thing about Keijo is effectively it's a glorified PE class every episode, right? The students are still learning, they are still growing as athletes, but they are still students at the same time. They don't spend a great deal of time that we see in the classroom, but they do spend time off screen in the classroom. There have been, I think there's like a couple of instances where one of them has a piece of chalk thrown at their head and they end up falling back off their chair because of the force. The whole point is that it still feels like an active school setting and not out of place. And I kind of feel that the reason why this is different compared to a show like Assassination Classroom is that even though this is, oh god, how do I describe it? It's unbelievable. Even though this is crazy,
absurd,
off the walls, goofy. Yeah, absurd. Yes, thank you, Nasuth. That's a perfect word. Even though this is an absurd show, the premise of learning an extreme sport at a school still works. I do not feel learning to assassinate an alien at a school does work.
All right.
I think I feel the other way around about it.
Yeah,
but maybe that's just me.
See, your statement earlier about putting a setting in and not fleshing it out really hit me there, because in this case, it makes me think of why I dislike RWBY Ice Queendom. So, RWBY as a original show used the school setting as an academy. So they had school education, and then they went to an academy specifically for learning to be hunters and huntresses. Right? And so while there are actual lessons they go to classrooms, they learn about the monsters of Grimm, they learn about tactics, and then they have their physical education thing is where they then take on each other in the dueling arenas, which is not focused on in the show at all until much later. The academy is dedicated to the purpose of training them up. It's not pretending to be an actual school. However, in Ice Queendom, they send them there to the academy and then spend half the season, more than half the season, doing something completely different. Where they drop them into a monster infects one of them in their dreams, causing them to sleep and permanently dream, and they have to go into the person's mind and fight on their behalf to free them of this monster. And that's, I think, 7 episodes out of the season is devoted to this concept of going into their dreams and fighting off this monster that's causing them to stay asleep and draining their energy. And that, to me, ruins the whole concept of them going to the academy in the first place.
Okay, but is that better or worse than when in Mushoku Tensei they grind everything to a halt for half a season for school, while Rudy and Sylphie pretend not to know, Sylphie pretends not to know Rudy, and Rudy doesn't know who Fitz is Sylphie. Just a whole half season of just kind of diddling around, doing nothing. You know.
I think that the...
You mean half-core, yeah?
Half-core.
Wasn't it like a full half season?
Well, no, because he starts off in the north. He's snowed in, and
but that's like 2 episodes.
It's actually 3. More than that. It's like 4 episodes.
It's like 2 episodes.
Oh, genuinely, I watched it recently. Yeah.
Yeah. So they take the time, but remember why he went there. Okay? He went there specifically to dig around and try and find something to learn about. It was a thing where he was offered the chance to go to this school. He wasn't sure he wanted to, but he was recommended to by other people he trusted. And it was the school, in that sense, was there to expose him to other things. And it's why it's why
you're fine. You're right. Episode 5.
Yeah, it's why they ditched the regular openings and gave it a typical anime opening. Because this wasn't supposed to be the same part of the show, and it's designed to be something different for him.
Yeah,
I kind of get, and I think part of the big thing with Rudy going to the university is when you are in that prestigious of a position at university, you are kind of allowed to research whatever the hell you want.
Yeah, especially in this type of university.
Yes.
Yeah, within reason, like, you know, you have to have a budget and things, and like that is not explained at all. Like who is funding his research, right? Mm-hmm. And yes, and
if I were to guess, this is modeled after like late Renaissance universities, where it really is like there's not a lot of teaching going on per se, except for like it's only for the best of the best to begin with, so there's not a lot of teaching they have to do. It's more for like really advanced stuff, or people like Rudy who are doing their own projects.
Oddly enough, I would have liked to have seen Rudy do some teaching.
Yeah,
that would have been good. So see if he can teach some silent casting or something like that.
But your point was, I think, that because of his position, we don't see a lot of the school side of, like, the actual teaching side of things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we see like a couple of instances, primarily around him, but also him sort of like bursting into his sister's classroom. Like that's like a stereotypical classroom setting. However, like the teacher, like I'm surprised put up with that at all.
Mm-hmm.
But it's
I think that I feel that the school setting was actually more of a setup than we think it was, because of his work with the different people that were there.
Yeah, 100%.
There's some skills. So, for example, learning that you can
the teleportation
layer
circle
on,
and
yes, magic into 3D, and also that you can then inscribe it onto items in 3 dimensions. You know, he could not have come to these situations without the people that he was then in a setting of learning to be there with.
But it still felt like, in terms of the narrative, it ground everything to a halt. And sometimes that's necessary. Yes. A lot of times you end up with a bridge in your narrative where you have to get characters to have a certain expertise or
Yes.
a certain group of people, and there's a lot of moving of pieces that have to get you there.
Exactly. You know, like he's now got an even stronger tie to the Beastkin on the continent by way of the chief's daughters. He's got the magical knowledge from another person that has been isekai to him, to this world, and that he knows. And he's also got the...
Who was an enemy, but is now a friend.
Yes, was an enemy, is now a friend. And then he's also got the setup from characters he had already met with magical devices.
Yeah.
You know, golems in this particular case, that is definitely going to have to come back in some methodology later. And, you know, we then did move on when we needed to move on. The second that he had the call to adventure again, he went back on adventures.
Yeah, but now he's going to be back at school for probably a little while before going back out again.
Is he?
Because he got a baby. He got to stay there with baby for a little while.
But does that mean he's going to school, or does that mean he's going to start doing jobs to get himself money?
Oh, he's already got plenty of money. No, you don't have to worry about that. Anyway, so any other ones we want to talk about where like the school doesn't really matter, or
I kind of feel. I don't know how much I want to linger on this. Well, I mean, there's definitely one that I feel it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But a good show is Mobile Suit Gundam Witch from Mercury.
I don't know.
I do not know what their mindset was for introducing the school, right? I don't know if it was a tactic to try and get younger audiences to watch the show, you know, but we have one classroom scene in the entire fucking show, and I'm like, what was the point of it being set in a school?
100%.
This could have been a military base. This could have been some weird UN situation. They actually
a proper pilot academy, something like that.
I think they wanted the shock of what's supposed to feel like a safe place to be, you know, and end up being the site of like a hostage situation, you know, sort of like a school event in America sort of thing, but you know, with more hostages. And like, but they couldn't figure out a better way to get it than to set it in an actual school. And then they just didn't know how to actually use... There was too much going on between that and the whole business side of things to really focus on the school stuff, because they needed to focus on the business stuff.
And that in part is why it feels so...
Like it needed 12 more episodes?
Well, no, not just that. I mean, they needed 12 more episodes because they needed to introduce who the real villains were, but that's besides the point. But it just felt like there was so little...
It would have been good to see them learning tactics instead of just putting them into action on the field. Yeah.
But I think another side of it is that all the mobile suit combat was one-on-one. What if they did a team-based thing, right? And that would introduce the tactics. There's a series called Chrome Shell Regios. I don't think we have it in the system.
No, but I have heard of it.
Yeah, I think Blas and I have given up trying to watch it. It has such... Sorry, the whole point of what I'm trying to say is the show is set in a school, and it's about like these magic users, and they're trying to... They have these wandering cities. It's very much a mix of, oh god, Darling in the Franxx and
Arknights?
Spoke about it a moment ago. No. Asterisk War, right? So you got these different schools that are like fighting each other. So you got these different cities that are wandering around this desolate earth, and they're fighting each other for resources, like capture the flag style. And it's just like, this feels really off, right? But that actually had tactics used within the team combat, and it made sense. But as I said, in Which from Mercury, it doesn't make any sense why this school even exists. It could, as you know, we've said, it could have been a pilot school, right? Or just a military base that hires kids, because I don't fucking know.
I think this is the thing where it comes down to getting a bunch of teenagers together in the same place, of different ages, and forcing them to interact comes into play, where there are very few situations where that would happen even semi-organically, and people use school as a shortcut to storytelling. And so it's the idea that it has to be a location where they go. There have to be rules that they can follow. There has to be a reason for, say, dormitories, for for celebrations, interactions, and things that happen. And they're not familiar with the idea of a military school or an academy for getting that across quickly, and it is like the video game interface, it's a shortcut to getting that scenario
a cheap
in.
plot device.
Yes, it's the MacGuffin of getting,
and I think
younger people to interact.
What takes it from being a cheap plot device to a good plot device is how integral it actually is and how well it's actually used. So, like, in Witch from Mercury, it's a cheap plot device because they never really used it. But if they had, if they taught, like, Suletta some tactic that then she turned around and used in a situation like, oh yeah, sort of a Chekhov's gun where they teach her something and then she actually uses it later, then that would have taken it from a cheap plot device to a proper plot device.
Yes. Unlike, say, this is the kind of thing like with Little Witch Academia, where they go. The main thing is to go to the Lunar Nova Magical Academy. Okay, and it's a genuine. It's an actual school. It has fully laid out. I mean, I was trying to remember what they actually went to in the show for their lessons, and they have actual obligatory subjects and optional subjects and things that they actually go to. The lessons they go to is like magical botany, magical linguistics, astrology, broomflight, basic white magic, spirit summoning, talisman crafting, magic psychology. So these things to teach the children how to use magic and how to apply it. The history of Western magic, phantom science, and there's even like the optional stuff like dragonology and magical prophecy, because they set out this school to be a real school, as it in this universe that all these people actually attend and want to attend because of its curriculum, because it teaches new witches for the modern era. So while the drama happens outside of the school and outside the lessons, they do actually take time to do that.
But is it better than Harry Potter?
Oh, by a metric ton.
Oh, good. Thank God.
What? Right. What was your thoughts?
That's kind of beat me to it. So one of my biggest bugbears with Harry Potter, and if you like Harry Potter, I'm sorry. However,
you can have better opinions. It's okay.
It's all right. You can recover from this. It's not a character flaw that you'd have to live with for long term.
So why the magic school in Mashal, in Knights and Magic, in Trying to find another one in this list. Mushoku Tensei. Why they work is because they exclusively cater to the entirety of the world, right? The reason I hate Harry Potter, and this ultimately leads to my question for Little Witch from Mercury, is that in Harry Potter... What did I say?
Little Witch from Mercury, which would be adorable.
Sorry. Little Witch Academia. Sorry.
It's okay.
The reason I hate Harry Potter is that it is a narrative where the wizarding world is hiding inside the world of non-wizards, right? And they don't get taught basic English, maths, sciences, religions, any of that stuff. And it's just like, you have to live in our world, right? Like, teach them some of the basics, huh?
I mean, you think about Ron Weasley's dad, who doesn't even know what the meaning of what rubber ducks are and why people might use them, and restores cars and puts magical engines in them because he's fascinated with the Muggle world. They genuinely aren't taught about it and never have been.
Right, but at the same time, how do they get food? Do they just magically make food come out of nothing? Right,
they literally do. Because that's the thing, they can magically grow food. They chuck pumpkin seeds on the ground and magically grow the pumpkin from those seeds almost on demand. The head turf herself came out and said, historically, not modern days, but historically, wizards used to literally just poop and pee on the ground and magic it away. They didn't need toilets or outhouses. They just used magic to get rid of it and clean it up.
Right, and it just adds like so much to, like, okay, if you do not have the components for your spells, then what do you do then? If you don't have, let's say, carrot seeds, right? How do you make carrots? I go to the carrot seed shop down the street.
Yeah.
Where'd
you get your money from?
The magical from Gringotts.
Well, yeah, you have a bank.
Yeah, but we don't.
Gringotts.
We don't trade in. Can you just imagine having to go to?
I don't know. Ron's family is supposed to be poor too.
How can you imagine having to go to fucking London every single time?
You just use the flu to withdraw. You know.
No. I'm not talking about the distance, Nasuth. I'm just talking about the hellscape that is London.
No. They teleported to you.
Yeah,
does that even work?
I don't fucking know.
This is the thing where...
So my question is...
In Little Witch Academia, there are...
Now he's going to let me ask my question, right? In Little Witch Academia, is the school secret, or are witches and everything publicly known?
Publicly known. In fact, there even are this world's version of Muggles and Muggle-born, because... Our main character is born to human parents and becomes a witch. And the reason she wants to be a witch is because of the famous witch, Shiny Chariot, who was the equivalent of a pop star idol, but also a magical hero at the same time. And her goal is to become just like her, little knowing that Shiny Chariot is actually in disguise as one of her teachers and is trying to keep a low profile.
But everyone knows about them. Witches want to come here specifically because it's probably the best one.
It is,
but it also works.
There is a long-standing joke from the author. Sorry, Xeno, I know I'm interrupting you. There's a long-standing joke from the author where they actually drew two of the witches looking sideways to one of their other fellow students who's riding a Roomba. Okay, so it's modern solutions for the modern witch is that kind of setting, if you see what I mean. So what were you going to say? Sorry, I know I interrupted.
You see, I do not have as much of an issue with things like this where the worlds can coexist, as opposed to, oh no, this thing is like so super secret. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
A hidden world can work, but and again, when I was a kid, when I was younger, and the books were just coming out, I enjoyed the setting at first until I got to about book 4 or 5 or something.
Yeah,
and I was just like, no, this is awful now. But I think that's because it was a really interesting world that then never really never did anything with that. So yeah. Like, a hidden world can be interesting, but you gotta do cool things with it. You gotta make it make sense.
Mm-hmm. Like, to link this... Oh, sorry. No, you go. Yeah.
There's, again, a really interesting series from the West, the Dresden Files. And they did a TV series of it. And I love the fact that his staff was a hockey stick.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Yeah. And it's just like...
Yeah.
Cultural bleed is always a thing, right? No matter where you are.
Was it? Oh God! What was the movie with Bette Midler where she was a witch? Oh God! There was the 3 witches that came out on Halloween night to get the virgin boy.
Oh, Hocus Pocus.
Hocus Pocus. Didn't one of them ride a vacuum because she couldn't get a broom? I swear, they had the fuller figured one had to ride a vacuum because she couldn't get a broom.
Because she could,
that sounds right.
There was a broom wasn't powerful enough for her.
No. I think it was there just wasn't a broom for her, but there was a vacuum. Anyway,
but the whole point I'm trying to make is that, like, cultural bleed is such a thing. Like, it is impossible to prevent it. Just look at us right now. 3 white guys talking about anime.
Well, Nasuth's purple.
Yeah. Well, no. Wait. Yeah. I'm a gumball. Anyway. With a scarf.
but my point is that, like, you can't make these things so independent.
You can't tell me that there's not some wizard in Harry Potter who started, who set up a confection shop where he made confections with magic, and people didn't ever find out about that. You can't. It's not possible.
You can't tell me that a gun doesn't work at Hogwarts because it's a chemical reaction.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's alchemy. It's not like electronics. It's not like electricity creating electronics, which would be disrupted. No, a gun would work.
It's a mechanical
because
thing.
Explosives work.
Yeah.
We clearly see that explosives work in some of the movies. So why would it not work? Why would they have to worry about Death Eaters invading the school if they can blow up one bridge and put overlapping fields of fire from a lovely Browning M4 on the bridge? Just mow down the Death Eaters to try to come in. These Death Eaters come flying in on their things. Oh yeah, we
anyway, anti-aircraft missiles.
I realize I've started an anti-rant of how stupid Harry Potter is. My whole point is I feel that this sort of stuff is great. Again, another series that did this poorly was Blue Exorcist, right? It's like the world of Blue Exorcist was so exclusive from, I want to say Japan. It felt like Japan. But at the same time, it's like, how can people not know about demons and things when you're doing it in Tokyo, right? It's people will pick up on this stuff, even if it's not photographed or there's no footage of it. Hearsay travels a long way, right? And,
okay, but
so
do you feel this way about Jujutsu Kaisen?
Well, it obviously affects the world around it.
Well,
they destroyed a whole part of a city.
Yeah, I mean, there's the whole Shibuya incident. I haven't seen any of season 3, so I don't know what any of the justification of what happened to Shibuya is from the real world.
They haven't, that I've seen. We haven't even seen it from ordinary human perspective. We haven't like seen news articles or anything on the TV.
I think that one has some justification for keeping it secret for most of it, because like they do it in those weird other spaces or inside a oh god, what are they called? The cool powers that they can manifest. Not the Jujutsu sorcery, but the actual like realms that they can open or suck people into. Can't remember what those are called. But yeah, so I think that's a good way to escape exposing themselves most of the time. But yeah, for things like the Shibuya incident. Oh no! What?
We were saying the domains. The domains Nasuth is like, I don't know what they are.
Domains. Yeah. That none of that audio got recorded on my end, so that'll be fun in the edit.
Funny thing was on the screen that we see.
But yeah, the domains. Yeah. So like stuff like that
stopped
helps
moving,
keep it secret.
And you still were.
Oh, have I frozen again?
No, it's his.
So
it's his.
It's his. It wasn't receiving.
It's his internet. His internet has farted like
fucking internet,
like a bucket. Yep, it's resumed.
I don't know where we were in any of that, but after my internet said fuck you, I think we're done with that topic, unless you want to add anything.
No, I think Jujutsu Kaisen is a strange one because obviously they've had things like the Shibuya incident, and certainly things from the non Jujutsu world impacts theirs. So it's not like there's some weird exclusive barrier that prevents one and the other. But as I was saying during our weird fluctuation time, I haven't seen any of the third season, so I genuinely don't know what the events are. But at the same time, I would say with Jujutsu Kaisen, there isn't much in terms of school-based activity things.
True.
So
calling it Jujutsu High isn't really... It's kind of a misnomer.
Yeah. And also like the whole what was the the whole fact that they can use their domains and the barriers to manipulate the events inside. It gives them the opportunity to reset everything after things have gone pear-shaped. But obviously the whole Shibuya stuff went pear-shaped. I don't know what the end result of that was. But anyway, that's besides the point. That's neither here nor there. Cool.
When you said about keeping things a secret, I'm watching something in the current season which does this kind of thing with a school, which is the... Oh, God, what's it actually called? It's something like
we'll never know.
What should I call it? A misanthrope. A misanthrope teaches a class for Demi-Humans.
Oh, that one.
Now, yeah. So this one keeps its school secret specifically because it is isolated and only exists in this one location. And you need a specific item that is enchanted to let you see it in the first place. And if you take off this ring, you then forget it. It actually removes the memories from you until you touch that item again and put it back on. Until you touch the ring again and put it back on. They actually enchant something so you can see it, because otherwise it is hidden permanently. And that's the kind of thing too. Yeah. That's the kind of thing that will keep your setting secret, because you don't allow the students out into the world to affect it until they are able to be human themselves.
Yeah.
Yes. But that's the whole thing, though, is they are learning to fit in. Right? I hate to say that. I genuinely hate to say that. I don't like the idea of people forcing themselves to fit in with, the anyone else.
Society. Yes.
But at the same time, there is cultural bleed there, and that's the whole point.
Yeah.
right? There is no like magical barrier that's like, no, you live on that side of the line, we'll live on this side of the line. It's
like it's almost the opposite of that, because they are purposely absorbing from the other side of the line to become like it enough that they don't get caught out as the unusual creatures they are. But the thing is, they're not forced to fit in. They are going to be something when they get to be human. So they want to join the human world for their own goals. To dance, to make music, to repay kindness of a person that helped them when they were, in a tough spot. All these things that they can even rejoin their own culture again if they wanted to. So the cat girl that just wants to the rabbit girl that wants to return kindness will probably want to join humanity long enough to pay her debts back, and then just can go back to being what she is and be completely hidden from the world if she wants to. In theory, we don't.
Yeah, it's less like.
God, that's for sure.
It sounds less like trying to conform to society and more like, so imagine you're going to visit Japan, right? And you want to make sure that you're not an asshole tourist. You want to be at least a little bit aware of Japanese culture and behavior and things like how to be polite, that sort of thing. But also, you might want to move there. You might want to live there. In which case, you'd also have to learn a lot of this cultural norm stuff to an even greater degree.
Yes.
So I think that's Definitely. What it feels like more in this case, as opposed to these are misfits who need to conform, sort of thing.
What sold this concept to me was that one of the characters is a werewolf, and under the spell of this school, both halves of her appear human. So they differentiate by personality, and the human side of her from everything is much more laid back, more almost like a Gyaru, as they call them, in that she's outgoing, energetic, and wants to be friends with people, whereas the wolf side of her is introverted and standoffish, but still wants to fit in. She wants to know what's going on with the world that she's part of, and cares for her friends. So she's got the instinct to be social, but she's very nervous about it, as you'd expect from a wild animal, a wolf. And that difference in personality, where suddenly the human half is all outgoing and wears her clothes differently and acts differently and even talks differently at that base state, shows me just exactly how much the cultural bleed has happened, how much of the culture is being absorbed by these people in this school.
I think conclusion-wise, schools are okay if
they're done right.
Either going... Well, yes and no. Like, there is another side to this. Like, yes, if you fully flesh out your school as a narrative device, it's great. But I think you can also use a school as a launching off platform.
Yes.
Right? Like in Knights and Magic. The school has basically disappeared after episode 1. And that's great because Or Gunbuster. Gunbuster is another brilliant one where the school existed only for the immediate point in which it needed it. But then when you actually have a school setting that is constantly there, but realistically you do nothing with, case in point, My Hero Academia, or what was the other one? Asterisk War. No. Well, yeah, fine. It's like, well, what was the point? Is this actually a viable narrative device, or were you just Spy Family, fucking Spy Family, or were you just trying to appeal to an audience that, and you haven't thought through what your
or were you
story
just too
really
lazy to make
be?
a real setting, so you went to one that was easy?
Yeah.
Yes. That's the thing. When a school could easily be replaced by another location.
Yeah.
That's when you've done poorly by integrating a school in.
Yeah.
If they, in the same way, a school can be the wrong location for whatever it is. So if they actually, Asterisk War, if they actually used the school to learn advanced sword fighting tactics, if they went through and learned the history of these magical weapons they have, if they went and took lessons to find out more about the magic types that actually exist and why people have an attunement to a certain magic type, if they used it to explain their world and explain how they fight in this way. Maybe even if they just did lessons on even constructing one of their own magic swords instead of having to find one from a vault that had been locked away, like that kind of thing.
Like Beds and Magic, where they built their own mech.
Exactly. Where they use the school to teach the theory, and then the rest of it is doing the practical. It would be okay even then if they moved on to a tournament arc with Asterisk War, if you had this grounding in the series. A tournament arc is still not a great thought, but it would be more acceptable if you knew what these students had actually gone through to get there, and saw the learning that they had in order to qualify for it.
I mean, it's really interesting that we shit on, or at least I certainly shit on, tournament arcs as much as I do, because I've just seen so many of them, and yet that's all Kill la Kill is.
Yeah, kind of.
I
kind of
Kill la Kill.
Less a tournament arc and more climbing a ladder.
Yeah, it's a gauntlet.
What the hell do you think a tournament arc is, Nasuth?
No. A tournament arc is several different people fighting each other, whereas this is one person climbing a ladder.
No. Nasuth, you don't seem to understand.
Tournament.
Right. A tournament arc is two people climbing a ladder till they get to the top, and that's when the actual proper episode happens, and all the other subsequent rungs of the ladder are just a waste of space.
That is a bad tournament arc. But then again,
that's
think
all
about Kill la Kill. Kill la Kill doesn't have these other categories.
Yeah, it's literally just the boss at the top,
and there's
and you have to
somebody
get to
else
them.
in between. Yeah, it's a gauntlet run. It's a boss rush.
Yeah.
Steps up the ladder rather than a risk of plot happening.
The whole point is that Kill la Kill's fucking amazing, and if you haven't watched it, you're seriously missing out.
It took me so long to realize that the messaging was that people shouldn't be embarrassed about their body.
Indeed.
Anyway.
And closer of the original sin.
Anyway, right, so moving on.
I'm sinning right now.
Shut the...
Are you wearing mixed fibers?
Right. Moving on to the supporter questions. First of all, Zrugal says, why do you hate shorts?
Because they distract me and lead me to be late for work.
Not YouTube shorts, but the clothes shorts. Not all it's like non-tall trousers. Why do you hate non-tall trousers? Life fibers, man. They're out to get you.
Depends on how short the shorts are. If they're knee length, I'm fine with them. If they got a lot of pockets, I'm even more fine with them. If they're more like mid thigh, not really, not so much.
In all honesty, I'm not the biggest fan of YouTube shorts or I'm gonna freaking kill the album.
You're a liar.
YouTube, no, because of what they do to people's attention spans, including my own. Right. And how you cannot convey a proper narrative in that kind. You can't, and the number of hoops you have to jump through to make any of these shorts. The last, 50, 60, between 50 and 100 shorts that have done pretty poorly, and it's just like, how many hoops do I have to jump through? Yeah, skill issue. Also, I wish there was a school that taught me how to do shorts.
Indeed. There's a reason I don't like actual, in real life shorts. It's because I have horrible scarring on my shin and don't like to show it off.
What short socks are for?
I don't like wearing socks that go over my knees, Xeno.
That's not your shin, that's your thigh.
No, my entire shin. Like, if I would have to have socks that cover my knees to cover the scarring on my shin.
Thigh highs.
Literally.
Yeah, no, right. Right, moving on. Riku7,
I am not
title
a programmer,
redacted,
nor
asks,
a furry.
do you like jorts or skirts better? What the fuck are jorts?
Jorts are shorts that have like a skirt front.
No, jorts are shorts that are made out of denim. They're jean shorts, jorts.
Oh, shoot, he is actually right.
Well, because Thalien's right, skirts.
Yes, I like skirts, but only when they're called kilts.
The Jeans Mafia says, the Jeans Revolution seems to like it, like it was getting too much for me until I discovered the jeggings, Jong and Jenk top. You know what? Your question is just too brain damaged. I'm not reading this, Thaylien. If denim was...
looks that you appreciate in the same way.
I don't even know what you asked. The question is so brain damaged right now. If denim was invented in an isekai world, would that allow for a... I don't... What are these questions?
Combat style?
I don't even know what that is.
For magic? Or maybe Joe and
a
Jaros?
Shield and sword made out of denim. A staff made out of denim.
Staff?
And a bow and arrow made out of denim.
Jean denim.
You have a problem. You have a serious
and
problem.
Jeggings and jackets became a thing.
You know this is an anime show, right?
Yes.
Thaylien, jackets were jackets before jeans.
Okay.
Jeans jackets are specifically...
Yes. Moving on to the comments from last week. First of all, the news. John Michelle says, I'm not the only one who sings along to the intro jingle.
Nope, not at all. We did.
Definitely not.
Zrugal says, news! Xeno was tired of their BS.
He's even more tired of it now.
Yeah. In relation to the Madoka Magical article, lols, you should butcher stuff on purpose more often. That was really funny. In relation to the new IMAX movie format, so they're reinventing full screen. Neat.
Yeah, right?
Returns.
Have you guys considered having the intern read off the especially difficult to read stories? No.
Yes, but we are professionals and we will not do that. Also, we enjoy torturing Xeno.
Also,
cool, thanks for the news, guys.
Voice has kind of a spotty legal moral.
This is why we need the Google Translate voice to read it off in the Japanese accent.
From the cast, Zrugal says, Kanpai! It's currently minus 11 degrees C here at 3 p.m. Oof. I was going to watch Adventurous Daily Grind at age 29. I started it, but didn't get past the first episode yet. I also felt the plot was paper thin, and it seems like an adventurous daycare, the show. So I'm not sure, but I hope it gets better. I started watching the 4th episode, and it does not. Wow, okay, I may pick up Sentenced to be a Hero. It sounds interesting.
I sell things quite well.
No, he doesn't. I started Cute Girl in the Heroes Party, so I tried Confessing. I felt it was really bland. I'm surprised that it was a slice of life, though I'm not sure why. It seemed pretty dumb, but if Thaylien didn't hate it, I'll keep an open mind.
Yeah, hate it is not the same as I really liked it, so just be aware, it's not a very good show.
And yet you rated it nothing special.
Yeah, it's nothing special.
Anyway, I actually may pick up Invisible Man and his soon-to-be wife. Sounds like my cup of tea. I really enjoyed A Sign of Affection, in which the main character is deaf.
It is a really good, soft, gentle slice of life. Not my cup of tea, but for people that enjoy those forms of slice of life, go for it. Absolutely.
Okay, Xeno convinced me. I'll try Darwin Incident. I don't know how I managed to... I mean, I'm not even sure if I'm convinced. In reference to the weird formatting of the date and hashtags in the description, I am, in fact, using the Brave browser.
I thought you were, yes.
Truly great memes, guys. Good stuff.
I love that Drugel never talks about any of the shows that I bring up, which means either he's already watching them because they're peak, or I watch trash.
I mean, to be fair, I did watch all of Hell's Paradise season 1, and I think
not
it's
hating
very.
it?
It's. I didn't hate
not liking it, but not
I
hating
think no. It's okay, but like, it has a flaw in its pacing, and I think I have to watch the whole thing in one go. I can't wait week on week. It will drive me nuts.
Yeah.
Which is what it did the first time.
I watched enough of Shibake to make it my drama of the year.
I may have misheard, but it sounded like Xeno said next week's episode was about Thalien's puns game. Nope.
No, not
never
this
said
time. That's later.
Stromberg Shell says, cool, got some great shows this season. I haven't started anything this season except for that reincarnated as a baby dragon. I forget the actual name. I wasn't thrilled with it, but I may keep watching.
No, don't. It looks so dumb.
I've not watched it, but what I want to know is what awful, so bad it's good show will you be watching this season?
I'm still watching Nocia.
Nocia, and there's also thingy Scum of the Brave, which I think.
That's.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's so bad. It's good.
It's not one of those. So yeah, it's not so bad. It's good, but it is the not good show. Great, I'm definitely keeping watching.
Anyway. I forgot about that Nukatashi show. I tried it before you told me not to. Lol. I got bored halfway through the first episode. Tasteful lewdness can be funny, but that show was just gratuitous.
I wish we could all forget about Nukatashi.
That's why you should watch Chain Soldier. And then finally Kanpai.
Raitoiro.
Right, okay.
Yes.
I thought it was, okay, Roy Toiro.
Or Raitoiro.
I was also disappointed by how low effort Scum of the Brave's opening is. It's a pity because the song is good. It's just quite strange because on the other hand, the ending is one of the season's best.
That's fair.
I think you got Shiba Yugi completely wrong. The girls aren't puppeting dolls while asleep. Their body seems to have been modified so their blood coagulates almost instantly into something that looks like stuffing. It apparently also preserves cut-off organs well enough that they can be reattached afterwards. I haven't read the original material, so I could be wrong, but it seems to be done so the audience watching those games don't have to see too much blood, and so players can be more daring and don't die too often. I actually think you're right on this one because of the most recent episode. So, in my opinion, Darwin Incident is a 1-star, at most maybe 2 for the production value. The debates were awful. Like you say, the fact that they often ignore very obvious biological arguments is already quite annoying. But more than that, they feel like the kind of fake stories that you find on Reddit. It's not a dialogue. Charlie just makes a shocking statement, and somehow belligerent college-age boys are left stunned by his fact and logic TM. It's really boring. It could just be the adaptation butchering dialogue to get the action fast, so I get to the action faster. But either way, it's pretty bad. I haven't watched the latest episode. So I can't remember.
That really happened.
Kind of. So we'll see.
Cool. So I guess that's it for the comments. And
yep,
that can only mean one thing. It's time for the memes. Most of our memes come from Reddit. We collect them all here for you. We put them all on our website, and we take your viewer memes. If you come to our Discord, there's a channel where you can drop your viewer memes in. We do not even see them beforehand because we like reacting to them fresh on air. And we've got 4 viewer memes this week. Starting with magical braided blonde green-eyed nerd elves with blue outfits and blonde male height companions with weird food obsessions.
Not wrong.
Totally.
Well, yeah, they are pretty similar.
Totally. All right.
The question is, do they both wear leggings to show off their ass?
Oh dear.
What is this? You think you're just gonna win because you have a new transformation? Perhaps.
Perhaps.
And then he does.
What did you do? It had the word monster on it. I thought you'd like it. This is a different kind of monster.
Yeah, the
ingredients list.
Oh my god.
Imagine giving a dwarf something that allows even more hyperfocus.
When the pre-rendered cutscene cuts back to gameplay.
Oh my lord.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's good.
At least on my poor graphics card.
All right, we've all got a ton of video memes this week, actually, but I've got 3 to start out with. One of them is particularly long. So that's really wasted the first month of 2026.
What the fuck?
Yeah, definitely.
11 months ago. Oh, this is like, what did Mama Delia feed this kid?
Yeah.
Yeah?
This is the really long one. I'll probably stop it pretty soon. Although
Don't
it is
forget.
really good. Like, holy shit. How? How?
Yeah. There is a point that he holds a Pidgeotto on his arm, which
Yes,
is
yes,
something
yes.
near to 100 kilos or something on his arm.
Okay, that's enough of that one. That's enough of that one.
Yeah.
You did it, Light. You removed all the evil from the world. It's not enough. The fuck you mean it's not enough? Janitor AI. No. Roblox Inc. game. Light, for fuck's sake. Labubu's. Hey, that's actually not that bad. Fudanari. Light, what have you done?
Oh my god.
Never underestimate the power of Futanari.
You do not remove Xeno's isekai form.
No, shut up, Thaylien, shut up. Shut the fuck up. I don't know what you're about to say to get us banned on YouTube, but shut up.
Oh,
Hey, the Prime
I've
logo is
finished
actually
it.
Vegeta Smirk.
Nice. Nice.
No, I'll never be able to unsee that. I'm a single mom of 2, but it only makes me stronger. How strong?
Oh my god.
And my last one is a video meme again.
Let me tell you something. 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 Wait. Let me tell you something.
Oh no, it's on loop.
God.
Let's move to Thaylien.
A random kissing scene exists. Raftalia. It smells like pregnancy in here.
What the fuck?
I don't.
Well, she thinks
I know.
kissing makes you pregnant.
Does
Okay.
she?
Random.
Yes.
I thought that was the girl in ReZero. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yes, and. Changing my entire personality after watching Silly Elf do whatever it is Silly Elf's supposed to do.
Oh, yeah, I should mention that this next one is also a video meme.
Mm-hmm. See, I knew this scene looked familiar.
Ha!
One Piece in 2003 versus this last episode of Jujutsu Kaisen. It's
Dear
definitely
me.
the same fucking thing.
Dear me. Well, that's spoilerific.
Yeah,
Well,
good
for
one,
episode
Thaylien.
4. Yeah.
I haven't started watching it.
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet. Fuck! I was hoping we'd get him around for a lot longer. All right. Anyway,
Fair enough. IRL anime cat girls.
Oh my god!
You've had to hear my trap card. Ultra realistic cat girls.
Yep. And the last two are also videos.
左今度は外前って
Nice, very nice. Very, very nice.
That would be good if Seraph at the end. Sorry, Seraph to the end. I can't remember what it's called. Isn't a shit series.
Of the end.
Whatever. It's a shit series.
Add your last
Just
video.
Chopping boards.
For brunch, one of the most useful things is a great chopping board. Get the right one, and it'll be your friend for life.
I prefer a sort of heavy-duty one because they're so much more durable. They can be flipped over the minute you want to go from vegetables to prepping fish or meat. Always keep a little J-cloth underneath that actually stops the board from sliding.
Well, this is going to get us demonetized.
It would have been brilliant if it ended with the scene of Megumin trying on Darkness's clothes and they just fall off.
It would have been brilliant if it ended with him putting the cutting board down and an explosion happened.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, that's a better ending than Xeno having the young girl's clothes come off.
Oh my!
Do we have to?
It's in the fucking show. Shut up.
Yeah. Let's just move on. Let's just move on. Xeno has a single picture meme, and the rest of them are videos. So
yes, redeem yourself, Xeno.
Strap on and lock in. What?
Do your parents watch Dragon Ball? Yeah. I can't believe Yamcha went Super Saiyan. I know, crazy. Your first parents are dead.
Yep. Good usage.
All right, here we go.
So imagine, you 20 years old, 6'5", 220, and you done led this kid back to his town only for him to be reprimanded by 1800s Tony Stark. Meanwhile, your sassy-ass vampire op got his sister held up in his castle. Bro got a pigeon cat and a dog with a face. Bro doing experiments. She slapped the taste out his mouth cause she know he ain't shit, and he introduced her to this creepy-ass butterface and leave. And that's when you hit him with an anvil like an animaniac and attack. But he got snakes in his face. You get bitten, but then you grab the snakes and get your homina on. Now you looking for Dio with
your homina.
On. That's when you find his hoe ass. They want help, but he like, nah, we gotta shoot the fair one. He looked like he's singing the tune for a Christmas album. He started telling you how he ain't want to kill you himself, but now he got her, and you call him a hoe. Y'all finna fight, and fake Ponaref is like, nah, I'm finna fight first with my gas power. Bro hit him with the look at my jump pose, and Dio frees his entire body and break it. You damn near have a heart attack. That's when bro hit him with the homina rolls in the eye and say something before he die. Man, what? That's when you get the sword from one of the knights you fought earlier and he gets scared and tell him jump you. Look at the Toxic Avengers, they get dealt with though. Now it's you and him and you throw flowers.
Can't believe they're making a new Toxic Avenger movie. Or they made a new one with Peter Dinklage.
Cut his arm off and start cutting him in half, but he frees your arms and start finger popping your neck. He trying to make you a vampire and he block your knee and freeze your legs. But you like, how you gonna freeze me to stop my blood flow to drain my blood at the same time, stupid? Plus you was warming your sword behind him. You get loose and homina punch him, but it don't work. He about to attack you and you hit the spinning double fist with the Dora backpack on and you finally get it.
Is
now he
this?
disintegrating, but then he hits you with
done.
the vampire essence eye beam. Now you sad with that little ass shirt on. To be continued, man, I'm going to bed.
Hey.
And you get at me for brain rot.
That was amazing. Shut up.
And I thought my Pokemon one was long.
Yeah, no, right.
Never watching anime
I'm
with
never
ads
watching
again.
anime with... Yep.
Tell me, what's your name?
Whopper, junior, double, triple,
Yep.
Whopper.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Next.
Hey, let me show you something. Up top, down low,
That was so cool. Can I show you something?
Yeah, sure.
Oh. Never 6-7 at me again, son.
Yep.
Do this every time. Hey, don't yell at Homer. He's a little slow.
Nothing was said. Not good. Or was it?
Slow? They call you slow! How dare you call me that?
Hey, Homer, you still here? Hey, you are slow.
Something said. Not good.
Get the hell out!
I mean, if
poor
he was
Okuyasu.
good on the ball, like he would just save everything.
Poor Okuyasu.
Miss Freeman,
And then my last one.
we should really think about finding shelter soon. Stark passed out a while back and he's really heavy.
80 years ago, there was an emergency shelter at the foot of the mountain. If it's not there anymore, then we can taunt him.
Yay. Well, it's still standing, but there's questionable noises coming from inside.
Well, it's life or death, and if the person inside is weird enough, we have soul-destroying death magic, so...
Hey, want to get on this enthusiastic grunting? We could do a Zumba!
Nothing is worth whatever that is.
Oh, please. This is hardly the first time I've seen something like that.
Oh, really? Then describe it.
I'd prefer not to.
You guys coming in or nah? We gotta keep squatting or I lose squatters' rights. You gonna taunt on that guy?
I do love that that's a verb
Excellent.
now. You got to taunt on that guy.
Right. That is it for this week's episode. That is it for the memes. That is it for our fabulous try not to de-demonetize ourselves. Every week.
And if you're listening to the audio version and you didn't hear the memes, make sure you come to YouTube where we play all the memes.
I mean, if you could actually hear what Nasuth just said over Thalien's laughter. But anyway, thank you all for watching and or listening. And now it's time to bottoms up and Kanpai.
Kanpai.